Good evening and welcome to the Handon Online Footy Show. That's right, we are back for another week and we must thank our sponsors, McDonald's, Lindock Living, of course, that pie night, all thanks to Chittix Pies. That is coming up too. Mickey McGuan just waiting to confirm that. Sun Gold Milk, of course, we love Billy Slater and the team. They do a magnificent job. McDonald's, as I've mentioned, Power Core. And in regards to Power Core, and I can't say too much, but there is going to be a massive announcement in the next couple of weeks, and it is going to be huge for the Handon Football Netball League and Warrnambool in general in the southwest. It is going to be a massive announcement, so just sit back and enjoy, and I can promise you that it is going to be something very, very special, that is for sure. They love getting involved, Power Course. Southwest TAFE, of course, as a major partner of the Handon Football Netball League as well. So plenty of wonderful sponsors, and I mustn't forget 3YB Coast FM, of course. They are just sensational as well with all that Hammond League live coverage. As I say, a very good evening to Treddy Hill. And Hilly, good to have you back, mate.
Thanks, mate. I see the great Alan Blackburn filled the shoes nicely last week. But yeah, no, great to be back. And what a great round of footy last weekend too. Just the Portland Tigers are on fire. Keroid playing some great footy. Good to see North Warrnambool, take a scalp and get back to a bit of form to the north that we know. Just really evens out the year, doesn't it?
It was a wonderful, wonderful day at a Bushfeed on Saturday. The WorkSafe game of the round, of course, and a huge crowd was out there at the Bushfield Recreation Reserve as well. It was just sensational and great to see a really good high standard game of football between two quality teams. Don't worry, the Roosters will take plenty away from last week. And the Eagles, it was a game they needed to win. And I'm sure the little bit of pressure is relieved off Adam Dowie and the coaching staff out there at the North Warrnambool Eagles, that is for sure. And there's only one undefeated side in the Handon Football Netball League. And if we had said this at the start of the year, Hilly, the Portland Tigers would be 7-0. I don't think anyone would believe us.
No, well, I think all of us on the Hampton League Live team, we tipped the Tigers thinking they were a top 5 side, but to be 7-0 and doing what they're doing at the moment, unbelievable. And it's just a credit, a lot of hard work with the playing group, the coaching staff and the club itself. But I'll tell you what, the next couple of weeks are going to be the ones where they're going to really find out a little bit about themselves. Keroid this week, and I think South Warrnambool the week after.
Definitely, and they're getting some airtime too on Hammond League Live, that is for sure, which is good to see for the Portland Tigers. And our match of the day this weekend is the Keroid Saints taking on Portland. And if you want a challenge, there's no bigger challenge in travelling to Victoria Park, Keroid, and taking on the best, because Keroid is certainly one of those clubs that are the best. They've been just magnificent for the past 6 or 7 seasons in the Handon Football Netball League. Longer, to be honest. They've just been involved in September deep for many, many years. And one of their stars, and this kid is an absolute rising star of the competition. He is in scintillating form. Alex Chumpy Pulling has been kind enough to join us. And, well, Alex, I'll tell you what, mate, your start to the season has been absolutely magnificent.
Yeah, how are you, lads? Good to be on. Yeah, no, it has been good. We've been playing pretty good footy, as a side. We obviously put in a lot of work over the summer. And, we've got a lot of young lads coming through, which is good. We've had a few lads in and out of the side all year, so it's given us a good chance to blood some youngsters and get some games into them. A few real young lads that are coming out of the 18s, and then a few boys in the reserves that have put in a lot of work over the summer, which is good. And, obviously come up a good test against Portland this week, who are undefeated. Be good to see where we're at.
Hey, Alex, I've loved your start to the season, mate, and I don't know, I haven't told Stewie yet, but you're one of our co-leaders in our Pit Stop Menswear MVP award with Damien McCorkle and Josh Saunders all on 10 votes. So you've had
great prize too, Hilly. Daniel Hector suit and some shoes and all that too, Chubby. I reckon you'll fill that out all right, big fella.
That'd be pretty small for me to fill it out all right.
But mate,
it's been a good start to the season. Obviously working with a lot of lads in the midfield like Liam Hoy and Brett Harrington, and then got big Jezza Horsler to feed me, so going pretty well, which is good.
Can I just ask you, Chumpy, do you feel now that you're really settled in and playing Hampton League footy? Did it take you a little bit to adjust, obviously coming from the District League, playing with Merivale, playing some senior footy there for a couple of years, but now you really feel like a good Hampton League player?
Yeah, at the start I probably wasn't really sure. My first year I was a bit in and out of the seniors and into the reserves and stuff, but as I think I'm in my 5th year now, as the time's gone on, I've obviously felt a bit more comfortable and, just keep building my game up, hopefully.
And mate, your game is just a really hard gut running game, isn't it? You know, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I reckon Macca just gives you a license to kind of go wherever you want because you've got a huge motor, you've got a big tank, and you kind of start on one wing, you kind of work up forward, you go back, you end up on the other wing, you end up through the midfield. Have you got a bit of free rein there, buddy?
Yeah, probably do a little bit. Sort of just try and cover the ground as much as I can without hurting us too much. So try and do a fair bit in defence, and then when we win the ball, want to attack pretty hard as well. But yeah, pretty light frame, so I don't want to get too contested at stages. Leave that to Hoisey and the boys in there. But no, it's good. I'm really enjoying it.
Hey Alex, what I love about your side, your structures and processes never change. And whether you have an under 18 and under 16 footballer come in and play in their first or second games, they feel a part of it, look a part of it. Nothing really changes the dynamics. You know, why does that work so well for you guys?
Well, I think all the stuff we do at train and like all the 18s and everything train with us at the same time. And when we do all our structures and stuff, they join in. So when their time comes to play senior footy, they know everything about the structures and they're ready to go, which is good.
Mate, you just touched on Liam Hoy. He's a ripper. He's having a sensational season himself. Brett Harrington's another one, mate. Sam Dobson, Ben Dobson, big Jezza Heusler, the McPherson down back, Couchy. You know, like there's just quality all across the ground. You just got a really good mix and a good balance, haven't you? And you just, as you said, you kind of blooded a few younger kids over the last couple of seasons and given them a bit of taste of it. And they're kind of coming through now as well. You're kind of pulling them through, aren't you?
Yeah, we are, which is good. Like, we had a few lads debut this year. Connor Byrne debuted and kicked 5 goals on his debut. And then we had Tommy Bolsh playing the Rebels on the weekend. So he's one that should hopefully he keeps playing Rebels. Be good to have him back. And then, Mac Peterson, Paddy O'Sullivan, all them young lads, they're going real well, which is good. But we've had players in and out all season and hopefully we can get a full strength side at one point.
Hey Alex, I want to ask you, obviously Portland, undefeated, on top of the ladder, playing some great football. I know Macca, being the preparer that he is, would have looked at a bit of vision of the Tigers and the way they play, set up and so forth. What a great battle against an emerging side of the competition.
Yeah, no, it'll be really good. Looking forward to it, actually. They were playing good footy last year as well, and they seem like a pretty young side, and they got pretty good run on the outside. So, it'll be a good test for us, I reckon. And, the ground out Keroid's in pretty good nick, so hopefully the weather holds up.
Yeah, Bushrat, Nance and the boys have been out there with the roller and they got that ground looking absolutely magnificent out there at Victoria Park in Keroid. Hey, Alex, great to talk to you, mate, and well done on your season thus far and good luck with the rest of it, buddy, and looking forward to seeing you in action in our Hamden League Live match of the day this weekend.
Too easy. Thanks for that, lads. We'll see you out there.
Great stuff, good kid. And just before you go, Alex, don't go anywhere yet, mate. That is the world's biggest clock just sitting over your left-hand shoulder there, mate. That is huge.
I don't actually know if it works. It needs some new batteries, I reckon.
Beautifully done, mate.
That's Big Ben.
That's huge. That is massive. Hey, well done, mate. Good luck. Looking forward to seeing you this weekend.
Too easy. Thanks, lads.
Great stuff. And their opponents, of course, are the Portland Tigers, 7-0. And I love what the Tigers are putting out in season 2022. They had a cracking season, a breakout season last year. And, of course, Jared Holt has done a magnificent job. He's just an absolute ripping fella, Holty. And, they've been led very, very well by this man too, Daniel Jackson, who's been kind enough to join us. And, Jacko, I said there before, if you had said you were going to be 7-0, I don't think anyone would have believed us, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It's been a good start to the year. Probably 7-0. It's probably surprised a lot of people internally, externally. So it's really good. Been playing some good footy. We probably haven't played our best as well, which is also exciting. Like, we've got our best footy ahead of us, hopefully. So just got to keep plugging away and improving at training each week, and keep implementing what Holdy's been putting forward to us.
Hey Jacko, what I love about your side, there hasn't been much change each week. You've pretty well got, a pretty set 22. You might have had a change here or there, but just continuity in the playing group, which I think is, really great because you guys are doing it together and there hasn't been much change to, suggest that, results are going to go otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. It does help. Back previous years, we've probably had 5 or 6 changes each week, so you don't really have that sort of set side. But yeah, like this year and last year, it sort of hasn't changed too much, which makes it a lot easier to get used to everyone playing and whatnot. Saying that, we still probably got 4 or 5 of our best players to come back into the side, which, yeah, so that's exciting in itself, and yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Jacko, can I just ask you, like, from a club's point of view, and I must commend you boys. You know, we done the under-23 comp. Clinton Bolsh, of course, the under-23s, back in November last year, and you guys really wanted to get involved. It wasn't an easy task. You know, you had a lot that were playing cricket and other commitments and all that kind of stuff, and you had to travel each week over 5 or 6 week period. You never whinged, you never moaned, you just got involved, and you seemed to be a really good buy-in as a club into the Handon Football Netball League. Like, is that something that you have really wanted to, I suppose, embrace the competition and do whatever you can? Because full credit to you, mate, full kudos to you and the club. I reckon it's brilliant.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think it was a really good idea by Bolshy to get the under-23s up and running, especially with like not playing much footy the previous few years. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was pretty good buy-in for the lads that, like you said, there's other commitments with cricket and whatnot over the summer. And like for us getting over there, blokes had to really knock off work even earlier and whatnot. So yeah, can't fault the commitment from the blokes doing that. And like we chopped and changed each week. We probably had nearly 30 plus blokes run through that side over the period. So that was really good. And yeah, like just getting the blokes out playing footy again, I guess it was really good.
But Bolshy did say he reckons it was the best couple of slabs he brought each and every Friday, because he's got plenty of enjoyment out of it on the trip on the way home, Jacko.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was good. Got a few of the boys keen to get on the bus.
Like Jacko, you're leading the charge for sure. Hey, Jacko, you spoke about a couple of players that still to come back in the lineup. I'm going to throw a few names at you and just sort of let us know how they're sort of situated and whether we might see them in the, I guess, nearer to, in the near future, or maybe, a little bit further down the track. So Jake Wilson and Ben Malcolm, 2 great players that would really boost that lineup you've got going at the moment.
Yeah, so Ben's been training last few weeks, which is a good sign. I think we just want to get a bit more training to him because he had a bit of an interrupt in pre-season leading up to round 1. It probably showed when he started playing at the start of the year. So, yeah, to get him fully right, fully fit, it will be really important for us, especially in the back half of the year, because, like, obviously one of the premier ruckmen of the competition. So, yeah, if we can have him firing, it would make us an even better side. Jake Wilson, I don't know. I think where it is, he'll be back training in a couple of weeks. So he doesn't have to have surgery or anything on his knee, which is a real plus. So hopefully we can get him like Ben, like for the back half of the year. And yeah, really like both great players like Jake. Jake, great leader in the back line, like very hard to play on. Doesn't lose a one-on-one. So yeah, he'd be very important for us. Especially coming up against sides like Keroid and South who have like forward line, like hard matchups all in their forward line. So to get him back would really strengthen up our back half for those top of sides.
And I reckon Ballantyne plays this week, is that right?
No, not this week, next week.
Next week, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Johnny Walsh gave me the wrong mail at Hamilton Races yesterday. He said he was back this week.
He's going.
He's a very good player. Very good player.
Very good. Got a massive tank on him, will run all day, and got good skills as well. So he's really classy for us to have in that midfield.
Plenty of upside, Hilly, in the back half of the year when you got a couple of big boys and Ballantyne to come back. And there is a few whispers. They're trying to get a few of the boys that are obviously living in Geelong, and wouldn't that be great to see? Like Jennings come back, or a few. It'd just be the icing on the cake. Wouldn't it?
No, it'd be nice, but I don't think we'll get Harris back anytime soon. A lot of rumours get floated around, so but no, can't confirm any of them.
Hey, mate, big 2 weeks coming up, Jacko. Keroid this week against at Victoria Park, and then next week at Hanlon Park against the Roosters. It probably tells you guys a little bit about yourselves and how you're trekking when you're up against the other top 3 sides.
Yeah, absolutely. Keroid at Keroid, it's always a tough task. So yeah, we'll be going over there expecting a very tough battle. Obviously, they've been the best side in the competition since we've been in the Hampton League. So yeah, we really respect them and the way they go about it. So we're going to have to bring our A game to beat them. But yeah, Holdy's just really positive about it all. Just take each week as it is, and yeah, we know it's going to be a bit of an arm wrestle, but yeah, we just whatever happens, we're going to learn from it anyway, win, lose, or draw.
Fantastic, mate. Listen, great to talk to you, Jacko. I'm looking forward to this weekend, buddy. It's going to be an absolute cracker.
No, yeah, it should be a great game.
Good on you, mate. Daniel Jackson, of course, from the Portland Tigers, Hilly, and I am looking forward to this weekend's game. It's going to be a beauty.
Oh, I can't wait. Just looking at some plays and numbers and stats last night. Yeah, a lot to look forward to. The Tigers are a great side. They've got a lot of great kids, and you speak about Bolshy's under 23 comp. Like they've just the fruits of that for their young group. Walsh, Lovell, Peters, these sort of players. Like they've just taken that next step and going to be pretty crucial. I think we look at always the top 6, top 10 players, but it might be the depth of their bottom 6, where it might be some of those young guys that are just playing a bit role that could be the ones that really help them through that next important phase, which is later in September.
Yeah, absolutely. Round 7 action, of course, last weekend. Hilly WorkSafe game of the month or game of the round was North Warrnambool v South Warrnambool. It was our Hammond League live match of the day. We had a wonderful chat pre-game with Leon Cameron. Seriously, we could have spoke to him for about 30 minutes. He was open, he was honest, and it was pretty raw, and it was just great to hear from Camo. A wonderful day by AFL Western District and also the North Warrnambool Eagles, who put a fair bit on. And well, let's have a look at some of the highlights from last Saturday's game. And it was just a really entertaining contest, Hilly, from start to finish.
Yeah, it looked like great to see North Warrnambool get back to a bit of form too. Shannon Becks, what an important player he is, and isn't he relishing the opportunity? Having some of these other key forwards, taking a bit of pressure off him as well. Jackson Grundy, great goal there, and a great youngster who's gone that next level. This fella, super form at the moment, Adam Wines.
Well, I'll tell you what, he missed the last couple with suspension and that, obviously, Hilly, but his impact on the contest last weekend was magnificent. There's a great goal. He's opportunistic due to green. He's an absolute beauty. Scotty Mortar, look at the celebration from Mortar. He was right in front of the Bushfield faithful there. He likes a goal, that is for sure. And the Eagles had the upper hand, but the Roosters got some late goals, really got themselves back in the contest, and, well, it was game on.
Is it one of those games, didn't call it with you guys, but was it a bit of a seesawing game, or was it, enough, I guess the lead was held enough for them just to continue on throughout the course of the game?
Absolutely, and you just saw Ricky Henderson there. He was good, solid four-quarter performer for the South Warrnambool Roosters. Shannon Becks, as you touched on. The Roosters will take plenty out of it. They had a few crook last week, I think, where the virus kind of went through the club, so they probably had every right to be a little bit flat, so they'll take a fair bit out of that. Tate Porter, that was our Lucas Brothers snag of the day winner for the goal of the day. So well done to Tate Porter. And, well, Adam Wines, here he is again, just coming in, slotting another one. He was everywhere. He was forward, he was back. He likes a stoush, Hilly. He rattles their cages.
Yeah.
He just gets under their skin, and he's just a good footballer. And you see him on the highlights page. He's here all day.
I was going to say, would you class him as nearly the best swingman of the competition? Because he's one of, the best swingman in the comp, because he goes forward, he has an impact, he goes down back, he nullifies, and he's a guy that you can actually put on the ball a little bit too if you needed to as well.
He was pretty stiff, and there's Chopper Lewis. That was a goal to kind of kick off the final term, and that was an important stage of the game. Yeah, Winesy was pretty stiff, to be honest, because...
Jenkinson?
Yeah, Jenkinson got our Pitstop Menswear MVP and our Matthews Petroleum Player of the Day. Good goal there from Vardy too in the pocket. That was at a very crucial time, probably the sealer too for the North Warrnambool Eagles. Young kid Max Irving, he was great for South Warrnambool. Coming into the side, he's had a little bit of senior football. He kicked a couple of cracking goals from about 45 out. He got under the skin too. He was good, Irving. I like what he did.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you what, there's a lot to like about both sides, and I think this win will certainly propel North Warrnambool into the next block of matches. For the Roosters, an opportunity to learn, and if you said they've obviously had a bit of illness throughout the course of the week, and it's I guess too it's a bit of luck at the moment, isn't it too? Like COVID's still around. There's a fair bit of illness through whether it's gastro or flu or whatever it may be. So you just got to take your chances.
Of course you do. Absolutely you do, Hilly. Southwest Tool of the Week. Now we had a funny, Ice Kelson pointed this out at 3/4 time in Possum Kelly. We didn't get a photo, unfortunately. I'd love to get a photo, but all thanks to Southwest Tools, of course, Paddy Lane and the crew. Got a big sale coming up too at Southwest Tools next week. It is their massive end of financial year sale. It is huge. So if you're thinking about tools, make sure you get in and see the friendly staff, Paddy and the crew, because it is going to be on next Thursday, that is for sure. But the $50 voucher this week goes to, I think he goal umpired either the juniors or the reserve. He might even goal umpired both, and he carried his flags for the whole day around with him. So he BYO flags for our goal umpire from the South Warrnambool Roosters. So I don't want to give a name away, but he's our Southwest Tool of the Week.
Takes his role very seriously.
Takes his role very seriously. You know, don't be frightened to go and whack those little waving flags in the car if you want to. But he was still carrying them around at the 3/4 time huddle, which the boys were very, very chuffed about. So we should have got a photo, Hilly. But he is our Tool of the Week, and a $50 voucher. All thanks to Paddy Lane and the crew out at Southwest Tools. Pit Stop Menswear MVP, Hilly. You just touched on it, so we've got 3 equal leaders.
Yeah, so Damien McCorkle from the Warrnambool Blues, 3 votes on the weekend,
yeah.
goes to 10. Josh Saunders on 10 votes.
He was good again, Saunders, on the weekend. He's a star.
Yep, and Alex Pulling, who's had, I think, 2 best ons in the last... Out of the last 3 weeks, he goes to 10 votes as well.
Liam Hoy would be there too.
Liam Hoy on 8 votes. Daniel Jackson on 8 votes. The leaderboard's really tight. It is. I'd say there would be maybe 8 players, just from the top of my head, that are sort of only 2 or 3 votes away from one another. So
wow.
She is tight.
Yeah, it's tight at the top. That is for sure, Hilly. Let's have a look at round 8 action. Our match of the day, as we said, Hammond League live streaming on the 3YBFM Facebook page, is Keroid taking on the Portland Tigers. Other games, Warrnambool taking on Port Fairy doesn't get any easier for the poor old Seagulls, and they are struggling even with reserves numbers. They might even forfeit again this week.
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs when that's occurring. But hopefully, if you're a Port Fairy person, you're still able to run around. Put your hand up, support the club. They certainly do need you at the moment. It's going to be a hard task for the Seagulls. But I'll tell you what I'm liking what the Blues are doing at the moment. Playing some good footy. The forwards are playing well. They've got a really good mix of midfielders and some good kits running around. So I like the Blues' direction. Blue
Baggers are going very, very good for mine. Now, Camperdown take on the Hamilton Kangaroos. Big game here. If Hamilton want to push for that finals position, they've got to win these games.
Yeah, absolutely. Great win against Cobden last week. I can foresee Hamilton getting the job done again. I just think they're playing some pretty good football at the moment. They were good against the Roosters, even though I think they lost by about 7 goals. But I think their ball movement and the way they were structuring up, and they had a few key personnel not playing. Hamish Waldron, and we were impressed that day against North Warrnambool in our game of the day. So I think... the Kangaroos, they're a side that want to push, and this is a winnable game for them.
Yeah, what about Cobden taking on the North Warrnambool Leaguers? Any upsets here? Bombers on their days are right, but can you see an upset?
Yeah, not in this one. I just think they're still learning. They're still learning. And we were impressed with them for probably 3 out of the 4 quarters against the Blues, but they probably just lack a couple of A-graders. Good young kids, but just like a couple of A-graders, a couple of real match winners. And
final game, South Warrnambool taking on Terang Mortlake up at the Friendly Societies Park. Generally, these games are pretty close.
Yeah, they are. The Bloods do rise to the occasion against the Roosters, but I think the Roosters, after the loss last week, they would have reviewed the tape, really took away some learnings, and they'll be hard to beat. Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. That is round 8 action in the Hamden Football Netball League. As I said too, big shout out to our sponsor, Sun Gold Milk, 3YBFM, of course, Lindock Living, that pie night, all thanks to Chittix Pies, Power Core, McDonald's, and Southwest Tafe. It is magnificent to see the Carter Group too. I must admit, those water boys look absolutely sensational. So for all your traffic management needs, make sure you get involved with the Carter Group. Frolic, of course, are on board too once again. QX3, Big Dean Herford. I want some clothes, Herf, if you're watching. Get some clothes delivered with a bit of badging and that, so we can get it in the background here for you, mate, and give it a bit of a pump up as well. Plenty. Warrnambool Toyota, of course, the $5,000 kick. It is going to be on again. The Warrnambool Football Club, great to see it back operational at full capacity too. So we've got a sponsors day coming up there too, which is going to be magnificent, coming up in a couple of weeks' time as well. So plenty going on in the Hamden Football Netball League, that is for sure. And that's us done for another week. We'll see you at the footy and the netball this weekend.